It's the weekly show about Pro-AV with the hottest news in the AV industry. It's rAVe TV. Give it up for Steph and Gary. Steph and Gary.
What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. It's me, Steph Beckett, and I have a special co-host this time, Tim Albright. Welcome, Tim. How's it going?
Good morning, ma'am. It's going fantastic. 8 o'clock Central. So,
Yeah.
not too early.
It feels like I've lived a lot of lives since the last episode of rAVe TV. First of all, I traveled to St. Louis on
Woohoo.
Friday, and I came on AV Week with you.
Yep.
And after I came on AV Week with you, it was when the tornado came. I've never experienced anything like this. Like, I'm from North Carolina. I know about hurricanes. We don't often get tornadoes, so I'd never heard like a tornado siren that's not in the movie Twisters.
Yeah.
So like
From what I've read, it was an F3 tornado. Yeah. So that was fun.
It was, yeah. So it was serious. Like,
yeah.
There was golf ball sized hail pelting the top of the CTI building where we were sheltering in place in the break room. Yeah, that was much to take in, much to consider. And I had a rehearsal dinner to go to that night. And the whole time I'm like, can I still go to that? Like, am I still gonna make it?
Is it still happening?
Huh?
Is it still happening even?
Yeah. And you know what we did? I did make it, but I felt bad for the people who were actively flying, trying to get to St. Louis during that time because they were like rerouted to Indianapolis and like had to find a way to get to St. Louis. Like, it was crazy. A lot of people's flights got canceled, so some people didn't even make it to the wedding.
Jeez.
So it was crazy, but that was such a welcome to the Midwest if I've ever heard one.
Yeah, that's how we welcome people, floods and tornadoes.
A very dangerous tornado, and which I know I'm joking about it, but it was actually incredibly serious. A lot of people's like houses were destroyed.
Yep.
The bride, a tree fell on her parents' house.
Oh, wow.
And she was supposed to have like her wedding photos kind of taken at their house because like that's where she met her husband in high school, and they were supposed to take pictures at the house, but then they couldn't, so they took a picture in front of the tree that fell down in front of the house instead. So it was actually incredibly serious, but it was like a little bit of an out of body experience to like be in St. Louis during a tornado. So
I would agree with that as somebody who grew up here too, because it doesn't happen very often, especially in the city.
And you're like showing me like the weather, and I'm like, I don't know what that means. I was like, where is it going? And you're like, it's going away. Like you were like, someone will pick you up now. Like you can go. And I was like, okay. But yeah, so that was crazy. But we made it. We lived through it, and I can tell the tale now. But yeah, so Tim is here with me. This is a little bit more of an end user focused episode. We do these once a month-ish, just to kind of, give the end users a little bit of news that's kind of focused toward them. We also are focusing a lot on InfoComm during this episode. We have a very special guest that we're going to bring on in a little bit to kind of talk about InfoComm and all of that. But I do wanted to remind you guys to please register. If you use the code rAVe, you can get onto the show floor for the low price of free. So if you haven't registered yet, you should probably get on that. But yeah, continuing on, I'm going to bring back on Tim. I want to talk about a few of the awards options that we have for the show. So Tim, one of these, before I go on to that, let's talk about the tour for a second, because people can apply to come on the tour with us. This is a tour completely for end users. It's also free. And this is the Technology and Practice Tour at InfoComm 2025, sponsored by Avona 2030. We did this at ISE, and it went really, really well, right? Like it was awesome.
It was really great. The manufacturers we visited, they were quick and concise, but also showed off the technologies that they were showing. The folks that we got to meet there, well, quite frankly, it was ISE, so it was all over the map. But yeah, it was a really great experience. And with ISE being kind of a little spread out a bit, we did have to do a little bit of dancing around. But it was a really great experience. Ended it with a lunch for everybody, just like this time around in Orlando.
Yeah, And this is it's specifically for tech managers, end users, in-house integrators. So if that sounds like you and you would like to do this, I think we're doing 12 stops this time,
Yep.
and we are picking those stops based on the level of products that they have for end users. So we're really looking at ease of use, products that are actually for you guys. And like Tim said, it ends in a complimentary lunch with me and Tim. We're going to sit there and then talk to you guys. It was really fun when we did that last time. So we've got spots available for 25 of you, and you can apply at avbuyersclub.com, and we would be happy to let you in and have fun. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
But yes, we have also opened the voting for the rAVe Readers' Choice Awards. So these are nominated by you guys, voted on by you guys. These are going to be open until June 1st. So go ahead and get your votes in. If you are a company that is nominated, if you have a product that is nominated, send that out to your company, because it's like one vote per person counts. So, if you all vote, chances are it's going to look good for you. I heard Tim CTI was nominated for, favorite integrator of 2025. And I
Yep.
already yelled at you and Toby about you're not going to win if you don't
Get
campaign.
people to vote. Well, and that's the thing with any of these votings, right? Is you get not only your employees, but also on the integration side, you get your customers, right? If you've got really great customers and you've done a really good job here, send it out to your customers. If you're a manufacturer, get the folks that talk about you positively online. Get the folks that that are fangirls and fanboys, and get them to go to rave pubs and vote for you.
Exactly. And again, it's one vote per person. We do delete multiple votes, so don't try to sneak one past us. But you can encourage your family, your friends, other people to vote for you. And the other great thing is, yes, there are a lot of categories. You don't have to vote in every single one. You can skip a section or skip one of the questions if you just don't really feel like you have an opinion about that. So feel free to only vote in the categories that you feel like you really have an opinion on. So, yeah, we are going to go to a commercial from our sponsor and partner, Shore, and then we're going to come back and we're going to bring on our special guest of the day. So we'll be right back.
The story of sound is the story of us, a 100-year-long story. Through a century of change, Shore's been there. In every presentation, every conversation, uniting people and perspectives, amplifying dialogues that span generations, and igniting connections that push us forward. Because sound doesn't just tell our story, it shapes our future and inspires us to keep innovating. So here's to 100 years of extraordinary sound and the next 100.
All right. Thank you so much to Shore, and shout out to them for celebrating 100 years, which is really exciting. I mean, our industry, comparatively to other industries like broadcast, is pretty new. So a company being 100 years old in our industry is actually quite a feat. So congratulations to them. So before we continue on with the news, I would love to bring on our guest of the week. Let's bring on Jen Heinold, Senior Vice President of Expositions Americas at Avixa. Welcome, Jen.
Hi, Steph. Hi, Tim. It's so nice to be here.
It's lovely to have you. This is our first time getting to interview you. So I'm really, really excited to have you on to kind of talk a little bit about some really, really exciting main stage sessions at InfoComm.
Yeah, we have a ton going on at InfoComm this year. We are just 3 weeks away and really in the final countdown. So thank you for, reminding everyone to register with your comp code rAVe. And I'd love to take the opportunity to thank Shore as well. They're our headline sponsor this year. So that worked out quite nicely that I get to follow them.
Oh, yeah, that was perfect. I would love to be able to say that I did that on purpose, but I did not.
Takes a
So
credit.
let's jump into the sessions here, because these are so exciting. The first one is a little bit on the experience economy, right?
Yes, yeah. So we've introduced two main stage sessions this year at InfoComm. As you mentioned, our first one on Wednesday morning at 11 a.m. is on the experience economy, and we have Dang Lee, who's the CTO of Universal Destinations and Experiences, as well as Jeff Zabel, who heads up immersive experiences at AWS. And Jeff and Dong actually launched the new Epic Park at Universal Studios, which is opening in just a few days. So we really wanted to lean in to being in Orlando and presenting some content that you could not get anywhere else. You will not see these two gentlemen on stage together at any other event, and to be able to really capitalize on how they built Epic, how they integrated our exhibitors' technology into the park, I think is going to be such a cool experience for our attendees.
Go
Jen,
ahead, Tim.
what's if somebody's going to this and putting it on their calendar, right? What are some things that they need to expect to take away? Like what are some things that you would expect them to learn from these sessions?
I think a theme that you'll hear from this session, and quite frankly, a theme that seems to be bubbling up within InfoComm 2025, is what I'm calling the end user experience, right? Like, how are we driving more customers to our retail stores, to our destinations, to our live event venues? And then beyond that, how do we make our, employees more productive, happier, satisfied in their day-to-day? Our technology does all of that. For the Universal session specifically, you're going to hear a lot about convergence of technologies. They've got a really cool case study they're going to share with an on-the-edge technology within the Nintendo activation at Epic, where basically your gaming profile comes with you into the park, right? So I won't steal their thunder, but it is not something to miss. I've never heard anything like it. And then the cool thing with Jeff is that he's over the entire Universal ecosystem. So he's going to bring some media and live event case studies as well to present. The conversation is moderated by Todd Haugland. He's with Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Oh,
And we
cool.
really felt like it was important to put somebody on stage with Jeff and Dong who have lived their life, right? Who have opened parks, who work in themed entertainment day in and day out, and are working on the customer experience and really driving that experience economy. So it should be a really thought-provoking and inspiring session.
That's awesome. Why do you think immersive experiences are such a critical topic for the AV industry right now, especially for end users, for the end users even?
Yeah, I think that we are in, information overload, and people, what really matters right now is those memories, are those experiences. And that's how, you know, our venues are driving really audience to their destination. So I think it is one of the most critical things from a business perspective, and people are investing, money in it, and that's why our industry should pay attention to it.
Jen, you mentioned that the sessions are really that this session is really about the end user, right? The actual person kind of experiencing, consuming this. That's the case. Then who are these sessions created for? Who is the ideal person to sit down and at the main stage?
I think anyone who is focusing on experience in their day-to-day, again, regardless of where you work, I think there's takeaways. I also think what Epic has done in Universal is really thought so far into the future when they built this park. And again, it's something you wouldn't experience anywhere else. So I think if you want to be inspired, it doesn't matter what your job title is, this is the session for you.
Yeah. So let's shift to 2030 vision, because this is another session that I am extremely excited about. You have some rock star panelists on this one as well. So tell me a little bit about the vision, if you will, behind assembling, Christine, Brad Hinsey, Eric Hutto, Dave Labuscus. Like, what was the inspiration about, like, behind getting all of these people to talk about, like, what's going to be in the world of AV in 2030?
Yeah, well, we really wanted to elevate, what the future holds for us. I think that is something that's so special about InfoComm, right? Is that we're able to prop up our community, to prop up our exhibitors, and really look to the future. And quite frankly, bringing it back to end users, the end users are driving the future, right? Every end user who's starting a project is looking 5 to 10 years out. So
Yeah.
our industry needs to really take that same approach. And that's what this session is aimed to do. So as you mentioned, Steph, we've got Christine Chivik from Shure, Brad Hinsey from Crestron, Eric Hutto from Diversified, Avixa CEO, Dave Labuskis. And then we actually also have an end user on the panel as well, Jason Antonori.
Oh, perfect.
He is the program lead and senior solution architect at TELUS for their Intelligent Building Center. So the focus of this session is very much workplace design and development and what the workplace of the future will look like. We're going to also, of course, cover our entire, AV industry. But this session, I think, just because of the panelist, is inherently going to focus on that. And let's face it, that enterprise end user is such a core audience for us at InfoComm. They come in droves to the show. They deserve content that is really focused on what they need.
It's crazy to think that we are 5 years away from 5 years away from 2030.
Yeah.
So
That I keep forgetting. I keep being like,
Yeah.
yeah, 2030, that's 10 years away.
no,
Let's
yeah,
do this again then, and then see.
and
see if,
just like
our
19,
predictions were right.
2000 was just 5 years away, 5 years ago, right? So
Yeah.
Um, Jen, when you look at the quite frankly the future, but again, 5 years, what are some of the themes? What are some of the technologies that this panel is going to hit on?
Well, I don't think you can come to InfoComm and not talk about AI, right? That's going to
Yep.
be a really hot topic for us. I do think we'll continue to be talking about what the workplace of the future looks like. Is it even a workplace, right? How what's the hybrid, remote, in-person dynamic, and how does that continue to evolve? And how do we ensure that our manufacturers and technology solution providers are really adapting what they have to offer for the needs of the end user in the future?
Yeah. So tell me a little bit more about why it's important for industry professionals to be thinking about 2030 right now. Because you said the end user is already thinking about that. Kind of like, how do we get the integrators and the manufacturers and everybody else to kind of start thinking about this?
Yeah, well, I think, why it's important is we get so bogged down in our day to day, and that's not a bad thing, right? I know we were talking about our calendars before we went live, right? Our days are packed, right,
Yeah.
with meetings and our inbox is full. And I think industry events like InfoComm give us a moment to take a breath of fresh air and think about what the future holds. That's why it's important. It fills our cup, it fills our company's cup, right? And it's what really pushes us forward. So I really hope that people can come and just invest an hour in yourself.
I like that. Fill the cup. When you look at who should look at this or kind of attend this, there are some sessions that you have to register for separately. Is this one of those sessions where you have to sign up separately when you're registering for InfoComm?
We are asking that you register for the session, but it is included in the exhibit hall pass. So with rAVe's code, you can get into both of these sessions for free. And it is if you haven't pre-registered, just come to the room. We're in West Building this year at the Orange County Convention Center, which is where we always are when we're in Orlando. And it's in room 415AB, which is the Valencia Ballroom. Both sessions are at 11 a.m. Universal Studios is on Wednesday morning. 2030 Vision is on Thursday morning. So I hope you can join us.
Perfect. Well, Jen, thank you so much. And last question we have for you is, where can people register for InfoComm? Where can they go?
Infocom.org. Keeping it
Perfect.
simple. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And we look forward to seeing you at the show.
Thank you. I look forward to seeing everyone.
All right. So Tim and I are going to be right back. We are going to roll a quick spot from our other sponsor and partner, Crestron, and then we are going to come back and talk about the news a little bit. So see you in a second. All right, we are back to kind of talk about a few pieces of news. Again, we are kind of focusing on this from an end user standpoint. First of all, Marshall has announced that it is going to showcase the Elite series of PTZ cameras at InfoComm. These are there's like a few different models in this series. Of course, I think that's like 5 or 6 different models, but these are made for seamless integration into multiple environments, broadcast, corporate, live event, government, house of worship, education. They're made to go so many different places. But the thing is, it's kind of bringing that broadcast quality performance, flexible connectivity, installer friendly features into this AV environment, which I think is pretty cool. They also include AI powered auto tracking, smart framing, silent PTZ operation, which is pretty important if you're going to be using it in a broadcast kind of application. And it's got like a pretty intuitive web GUI and API control. So, yeah.
Yeah, and Marshall has long been known as, they're high quality, they're not overly expensive, and you and I talked about this around NAB time.
Yep.
Several corporate folks are moving into broadcast. Not that they're starting their own broadcast stations, but they're doing broadcast level video in corporate, and so things like this with Marshall are incredibly important.
Yeah, absolutely. So, next piece of news. This is interesting. I think I've talked about this before, but it's worth kind of talking about this again from an end user focus, right? So, Friedman Group has acquired Electrosonics. And this is important because Friedman Group is the parent company of rAVe, Mackie, a lot of other kind of like, you know, prosumer, I would almost say, audio brands. And Tim, why is this important that they've acquired Electrosonics of all companies?
So there's a couple things. First of all, Electrosonics has been widely known as one of the top wireless audio companies, right? So when you look at a wireless mic, a wireless belt pack, Electrosonics is special sauce is their ability to do wireless really, really well, meaning that there's no dropouts and there's constant connectivity. The other side of that, though, and the other side of the story is the fact that the folks at Friedman Group have started talking about, okay, this is great. By the way, Electrosonics has manufacturing in the States. rAVe is an Australian company. They're talking about bringing a lot of that manufacturing to the States, which in the context and the conversation around tariffs and those things, that means that rAVe will be bypassing a lot of those tariffs by having things made in the States.
Yes. And I think that is kind of an important focus. So Forbes covered this story as well. And Forbes actually has an interesting video about this. So we're going to roll that really quick and then we'll be right back.
When we announce this and you're getting the scoop on it, we are going to scare the shit out of everybody.
Because is this kind of showing the path, which way you're going?
This is crazy. Yeah, we're the biggest in the world in pro audio now. That's something pretty big to say, from being nobody to the biggest in the world now. Things. And in fact, I've been working on buying a company for the last 6 months, and we actually finalised it today. Woo! Amazing.
Tell me.
Well, yeah. So there's only in wireless for Hollywood and Broadway and West End. There's only 3 companies that do this super high-end wireless, and I bought Wyoming, which is an insane company called Electrosonics, and I just happen to have one in my pocket.
Give us a look.
It's mind-blowing. The technology in this.
So, sorry, tell me, what's the company called?
It's Electrosonics. I've been around since the 70s.
What size deal is this?
It's very big. But the technology, I wanted to do this for 35 years, and I could not get the tech. It's not possible. And so the opportunity, it just arose. And so we bought a whole company, including manufacturing facilities. They're just near Albuquerque, New Mexico there. So we have 10,000 square meters in the main with all the gear, and another 17,000 square meter factory next door to it. So within 90 days, I will have manufacturing facility in the US for everything I do. So we'll still be doing here, but what tariff?
It's worked out well.
You know, it's beyond exciting. I mean, I find it hard to sleep.
Yeah, that's an interesting guy.
Very interesting guy. And AV is full of them, and I would put him towards the top of that list.
Yeah, he's for sure. He's kicked a few people out of
Yeah.
the top 10 for that.
Yeah.
Oh, my lights came on. Okay, well, that's fine. I guess I moved too much. Okay. So anyway, well, it's fine. We only have like 4 minutes left. So let's talk about Sennheiser's new microphone system. Tim, I'm gonna let you do that, and I'm gonna turn the lights back off.
All right. So Sennheiser has a brand new single channel of their already existing profile wireless system. Now, Steph and I both have access to the 2-channel version. This is a single channel version. The thing about the profile system generically is that it has a couple of things that what some other content creation centric mics do not have. Number one, they've got onboard recording in the receiver. Number two, they have an input that you can plug in a lavalier mic or any sort of other mic that fits into that that jack. The single channel, though, what that does is that allows you to simply have a single one. It also is a lower price point than the 2-channel version. So it's a new addition. It's an interesting evolution of the profile wireless mic system.
Sennheiser also announced the 32-bit float firmware update, and that's available for download on the Sennheiser website as well.
Yeah.
So, okay, last kind of product news story here. Mersive has opened a beta program for its new collaboration suite. And this is like for end users to practice and like get an early look at this. So, select partners, select customers get this like early access to its like next generation collaboration solution. This beta program like Mersive says it reinforces its commitment to driving the future of workplace collaboration, which is interesting. So it's got 3 different offerings, and they're aimed at 3 different end user needs. One is Mersive Pro. This is for your high impact space, your boardroom, your multi display lecture hall. Mersive Essentials is for smaller meeting spaces with like, your agile, like for real time collaboration, like breakout sessions, impromptu, ad hoc meetings, that kind of thing. And then Mersive Smart, it won a commercial integrator award for top new technology of 2025. This is an app that converts smart TVs and streaming devices into collaboration hubs for flexible meeting environments, which I think is pretty cool. So this offers those participants early access to those 3, and it is available to existing Mersive users and Mersive partners. So you can find out more at mersive.com if you want to apply, if you want to try it out for yourself. I think all of that information is on Mersive's website.
Yeah.
So final couple of housekeeping reminders here before we let you guys go. First of all, AV Cloud Summit. That is today at 1 p.m. Eastern. So this is going to be the first ever unveiling of the Open AV Cloud. This is an industry-wide initiative set to usher the AV world into this new era of connectivity and innovation. We have so many people joining this, and also I'm going to be moderating, which is really exciting.
Nice.
And we're going to kind of talk about opening the cloud, open those APIs, and what that means for the future of AV. So I'm pretty excited about that. Another one we have coming up, the Hospitality Symposium. That is May 28th, 2025 at 1 p.m. This is half a day. It's really just a few hours. It's powered by Launch, designed exclusively for professionals in Pro AV and hospitality sectors. This is bringing together industry experts to provide all of you attendees with this comprehensive understanding of the Pro AV landscape within the hospitality market. I am so excited. These panelists are so cool. Let me just say that. Like every panelist that I have found for this, a lot of these are not sponsored, by the way. But like they're just people that I've found that I think are cool, that I think can talk about this. These are really, really cool people. So I think you guys will really enjoy these sessions. I've worked pretty hard at putting them together. So please come. And I think that is it from me. Tim, do you have anything, any final words? to give to people?
No, we talked about an awful lot about InfoComm today, and we sort of half joked about our calendars. In all seriousness, we're 3 weeks out. Get them set, kids. Right?
Yeah.
Get your calendar set, because it will come, and it will be here like nothing else. But figure out what you're doing. And we kind of half joke about the events and the parties and the after stuff. Those are all fine and good. But InfoComm, and I give people this advice every year: figure out the things that you need to know. Figure out why you're going, right? Not just to hang out and have a good time, but the information you need to come away from Orlando with, and then plan your days accordingly.
Exactly. That's the best advice that I could give. And if you haven't registered yet, like, do that. Like, maybe that's your first step, like, register.
Yeah,
if you want to go and you haven't registered yet, do that. And yeah, use code rAVe to get onto the expo hall floor for free. And we hope to see you there. If you see like a kind of black and purple blur, like kind of darting beside you, that's probably me. Maybe wave, at the dust cloud that I leave in my wake from running so hard. And yeah, if you do see me on the show floor, in all honesty, like, please say hi, and Tim as well.
Yep.
We're pretty nice people. We like to talk to people. So yeah, okay, I think that is it. Tim, thank you for being my co-host during this time.
Thank you, ma'am.
And to all of you, see you next week, same time, same place, 9 a.m. Eastern. And this has been another episode of rAVe TV. We'll see you next week.
It's the weekly show about Pro AV with the hottest news in the AV industry. It's rAVe TV. Give it up for Steph and Gary.